Well, we're back at hauling some fill dirt this morning, so it's not too bad this round. There's only 3 trucks that were here. I got here last time and there was 10, so I got the old Hyundai bailing the dirt up, and then he's got a Hyundai loader loading trucks out. I got Dad, he's running his truck this morning too, so I'm gonna run for a little while, and then I'll stay over there and kind of knock him down and roll him in and everything, and then he'll just keep running. Actually at one of our rock quarries, and I think what they're going to do is they're letting in take all the fill and the clay off, and then I don't know if you can see down in there or not, they're getting ready to try to start blasting this and getting more limestone rock out of here. They've done the same thing on the other side of the road a couple of years ago. So yeah, now they'll have another big pit area up here. We've got, this is load number 3 for me. That's, I think he's got 2, and then he'll be back on his way in a minute, and then I don't know, we'll get 8 or 10 of them stuffed in there, and then I'll just stay there with the 2150 and knock it down. And the last load I take over there, I'm gonna leave in the truck and just wheel roll it in, and then he may be able, like I said, it's gonna kind of cut down. We were getting 2 loads in an hour yesterday. I don't know if we're gonna get that today or not with as many trucks that are here, but he may be able to kind of keep up with me, and I can just keep throwing him in there with the excavator and rolling them in. So this is what we got going on for now. we're moving along now. So I don't know, Dad just dumped one more right after lunch. I'm gonna finish kind of knocking this corner down, and then if he's back in time, I'll let him kind of wheel roll it in, or I'll get in my truck. I still got it loaded, and kind of wheel roll this lift in. But Twin 150 is working out pretty well, knocking all this stuff down. I kept thinking I need to get the loader over here, but I'll probably bring it over maybe tomorrow when I'm trying to kind of fine-tune the final height. So this thing with the bucket and the blade is quick enough to knock several of these piles down at one time. So it makes short work of it. I'm trying not to put in like super thick lifts, but I think we had 10 loads dumped in here whenever I started knocking them down this morning. Some of that I need to push out that way, but now, you know, me using the truck to roll it in and then knocking them down with this, I think he'll be able to keep up with me, or keep a couple loads here at a time, where I can constantly be knocking them down and packing them in. And it is nice today. It's like 76 degrees. This is awesome. I am ready for spring and summer. Which is crazy, because last week, I think it got down to like 9, like, I don't know, Tuesday or when, like, we had still had snow and ice and stuff, so that is Missouri for you. We'll have the majority of the fill put in here today. Here in a little while, I'll get my lasers set up and see how much more that corner needs to come up. Because that flag right there is pretty much the top of the pad. So it probably doesn't show up on camera, but it's still really low on this whole thing right here. Which that's 56 feet wide. The shop building is going to be 36 wide, but then he's going to have a 20-foot concrete approach out here. So when we originally talked, it was just going to be the 36 by 60 or whatever, but so that kind of changes the height of the pad, because 20 feet over is not near that high. So, which I'm glad he told me that way, because you don't want the approach sloping down to the shop. So we're just going to build it up even more and get everything, all the water to run down and away from the shop. Definitely going to make a nice pad. This dirt is great. It's got just enough rock in it, lots of good clay content, and it's got just enough moisture in it. It really packs in and sets up like concrete. I mean, it'd be even better if I had a big sheep's foot roller, but we'll make do. So that will be one machine that, I don't know, I would like to definitely get, because the problem is they're so expensive to buy. They're also kind of expensive to rent, but they're kind of hard to find, because it's not one of those machines that it's not getting used on the job. Just, I mean, at least my job. I know like roads and stuff like that, they're constantly using them, but like for me, it's not a machine that's just going to get, you know, 10, 12 hours every day ran on it. May get a couple hours in each day doing a pad. So I don't know, I'm kind of been looking around still on Purple Wave, but I like that 66 inch or maybe 84, I can't remember, maybe it's a 66. It's almost like $1,000 a day to rent one. So, and like I said, where I'm located at, some of that stuff's hard to justify, because like a lot of these people are just like, well, can't you just track it in, or, you know, not a lot of them understand, so it's kind of hard to that, hey, I gotta charge you, you know, $125 an hour for this machine so I can compact this stuff. But maybe one of these days I'll find a decent used one, and that'll make things a whole lot easier. I may even try to find something that goes on the front of my loader. I mean, it would work on this, but you'd have to do it in some really small lifts. These are on the verge of almost being too big, but some of that was still pumping, so I'm trying to kind of bridge over the top of that. Now this round I'm doing a lot smaller lifts. I'll just keep plugging away and pick it back up a bit.
A quick assessment. I've got a few soft spots. I know this probably looks like I'm kind of half-assing this pad, but it probably wouldn't have mattered if I dug this whole thing out 4 feet deep. It has some decent clay in here, but there's so much groundwater wicking in on this property that it was just kind of pumping. So really, the wheel loader, the wheel rolling on the truck actually works really well, because it's going to force that water and junk up out of there, like in those real rough spots, and eventually we'll just keep running over different directions and putting some more in there, and it will stiffen up. I mean, the problem is the pad's gotten bigger since we kind of started, and then where he wants it, the elevation was such a change that even if I would have came out here and excavated all this out down to the really, really hard pan, it would have taken, you know, 10 times the amount of clay. It's already going to take, like, I don't know, 30 or 40 loads or whatever, where it would have taken 80 or whatever if we would have dug it out more. So What I dug it out to was a clay, but it was just kind of saturated from the groundwater. And if you dig down deep enough on this property, you get the same thing over here. This will actually work, and what he's going to build a pole barn, so basically all the weight of the barn is going to be on those posts that they auger in the ground. Most of this is just to make sure that his concrete floor does not settle and crack. He's not planning on building a building in here until later on this summer, so the best thing, even besides an actual like sheep's foot roller, is to just let it sit here and just rain and weather on it. That'll be the best thing. I mean, that truck probably weighs close to 55,000 pounds with it loaded, and all that weight's just on those tires. So I can kind of flatten it off with this, and I'll just run all over in different directions, and it'll keep working that water out. And as you'll be able to tell in the next lift, that will be a lot less than all that, because there's not that much clay over there. Where I'm sitting is probably already 2.5 feet of clay, so it's setting up really well. So it will work. It just, even if I would have rented a roller for this, the roller, especially running that vibrator on it, would do just as bad, if not even worse, with it pumping up and working that water out. But we will get it, so it's just another way to go about it. Plus, you can kind of tell with the lay of the land, everything drains over to this corner, so. And for some reason, there's just a lot of groundwater. I mean, it was even wet in the video where I ran the diamond mower out here. Well, that first video, it was raining, but I mean, like, it was really bad. And I'm also going a little wider. I think I'm like 5 feet out all the way around, because we got to build it up so much, so you can't just build it just a straight drop off. So it's wider, and it's just going to kind of taper up, and that's why I got some of this dirt on the outside here. It just kind of helps hold the clay in, but it's still wider there, and will taper back, so that way you got a good base on this stuff, because you don't want to go right to the edge of what the building's supposed to be, and then when they're augering holes, or if they're digging a footing, you're digging right on the edge, because then you lose all your strength. Getting there, so still got some pretty good pumping going on. There's not as much clay over there where he's at, so
which I think will work. We may end up digging some of that out and adding a little more, but this thicker part here, you can tell it's really starting to firm up. And this edge, of course, still needs quite a bit, but yeah, this is what we're looking for. So I'm gonna set the laser up just kind of to see how much closer we're actually getting, and then try to grade everything off with the 2150 again, try to get down with that and get it kind of flat, and then we'll just run both trucks for a while this morning and put another good lift in here. But it is definitely getting closer, so I'm happy with the progress so far.